Let's see if I can record this thing. I need a good intro. You got any biscuits in there? Yeah. Some people call it a guy's blade. I call it a sling blade. I don't even know if that was any good. Oh, Lordy. Let's get this thing started. Hey, welcome to another edition of the Ripple Effect Podcast. I am Steve Harper, and today I have to rush through this podcast because I myself need to get to some soccer. Yes, sir. I've got some Saturday soccer, but I woke up this morning after a long day at soccer yesterday, mind you. I was out watching my fantastic and amazing son, Josh Harper, who's on Twitter. He's on the YouTubes. I won't tell you where, because that would be weird if you started stalking him. But he has made the freshman team. They had a tournament yesterday. Actually started Thursday night. And for those of you who don't know, Texas is not used to like really cold weather, and we've had some really crappy cold weather. Like the city shut down basically on Tuesday because there was a forecast for some impending wintry precipitation, and we did get some. City was shut down. We've been in the 20s for a period of time, and it was cold. And yesterday it wasn't as cold, but it was wet and misty, which made it feel cold. And I was out watching him. He had 3 games yesterday. He had a game on Thursday night. So just like, my bones are chilled. It's crazy. And then I stayed for 2 other games to see a couple of the boys that I coach in soccer for my Celtic FC team that are playing for competitive high schools. But when they're not playing McNeil, they're not the enemy. They are my boys, my family, my peeps. So I go out and support them. So my wife was a trooper. She watched those games with me. But we stayed out for the sum total of 5 games yesterday. And I don't think I've warmed up yet. And then on top of that, I make a commitment to my buddies that I hang out with on Saturday to go play soccer this morning, thinking the forecast says, hey, it's going to be warm, the sun is going to be out, and I wake up and it's the exact same crappy weather it was yesterday. That is not cool. So anyway, I am filming today's podcast for the first time in a long time, and that is why if you see this video, I am dressed really crappily, and I am really struggling, to be honest with you. You can't see this if you're listening to the podcast, but I'm struggling because I'm kind of growing my hair out, and I'm not sure I like it. What do you guys think? No, I don't know. I have kind of had like this, fade kind of thingamajiggy. I don't even know what you call it. It's the $9, $14 cut at Cost Cutter or whatever that is. Is that Cost Cuts? I don't know. What? Cost Cutters? Yeah, Cost Cutters. This show is not sponsored by Cost Cutters in any way, shape, or form, but I have 2 amazing ladies over there that just kind of get me. Get me. They make my hair look good. Like I went to one of those fancy salons, but I didn't. I paid like maybe $9 or $14, depending on the day you go. I don't understand that whole sliding scale on the haircut, but maybe if I paid attention, I could probably figure it out, but I don't. And so anyway, I'm trying to grow this out, and what I'm actually realizing now that I'm doing that, and I'm kind of going through my hair right now, mainly for the camera, yeah. First of all, I woke up, it's a Saturday morning, didn't take a shower, because I'm going to go play soccer. Like, I don't really care if I stink, because if you're covering me, I don't want you to cover me. So if I stink, maybe you won't cover me, and then maybe I can streak down the field, and I can score a goal, and people will carry me off the field on their arms. Woo! Not really the case. I can tell you that right now. I've scored goals before, looked around for my teammates to put me up on their arms, and do they? No. They just turn around and go back to their position and prepare for the kickoff. It's very, very sad, to be honest with you. But anyway, I didn't just really do my hair today. So it's a little bit crazy. And now that I'm seeing myself, because I'm filming this thing for my YouTube channel, because again, I have got to get better about putting some content out, not just here for you, my loyal listeners on the podcast, but the 9 people that actually watch my YouTube channel. And I haven't been very good about putting anything out, to be honest with you, in a while. Namely because I don't like to edit. It's time consuming. I'm not very good at it. So I'd rather just like do something like this where I just hit record. You got to look at my ugly mug if you're on YouTube. And if you have found your way to the YouTube channel and you are watching this on YouTube, of course, but if you're listening on the podcast, this will make no sense to you. But if you have to watch this ugly mug talk into a mic, which this is my new mic, check it out on YouTube. It's pretty awesome. Then that's on you, really, to be fair. And so if my hair does not look perfect, that is really, that's the risk you take when you click play on YouTube. And I guess when you click play on this podcast to listen to me talk about what you might see if you were following me on YouTube. So anyway, I'm here on a Saturday morning before I'm supposed to go play in exactly, 40 minutes. So the pressure is on for me to produce this podcast in a very quick and short and succinct manner so that I can produce it. And then I will click the little button to stop recording on my camera, and I will figure out how to give that to my son to say, go upload this. I would like to call him my media director, my head of high-tech shit, but he is not. He owes me some money, and I bought him something. I think I told you this in the last podcast. He broke his phone. So the kid is like an indentured servant until he pays that off. And I come up with these just little tasks for him to figure out and do for me for a percentage against the phone replacement cost. Yes, that's probably not legal. No, it's probably not right. And yes, will he likely need to seek therapy down the road? Let's be honest, probably. But listen, he's dealing with me anyway, so that's probably the case regardless. So I might as well take advantage of him doing some of my little bit laborious tasks I don't like doing, and he's actually, to be fair, pretty darn good at it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Here's my little, whatever you call these cards, which would just totally irritate him, memory card. Oh my God, if I didn't actually come up with the right terminology. Dad, you're an idiot. Why are you even talking about this stuff? And I can already hear this already. He's going to hear it. He's going to see it. He's going to be like, Dad, people are going to think you're nuts. And I'm going to be like, dude, they already think I'm nuts. It's fine. It's cool. It's all right. It's actually part of my brand. I don't know. Anyway, I'll give this to him and I'll be like, hey, dude, do what you do. Put it on my YouTube channel. Make it good. Yeah. And if you don't, then I'm going to add additional dollars to what you owe me for the broken iPhone and its replacement cost. So anyway, got to get this done. Got to head to soccer here in a bit. So I watched a ton of soccer yesterday. Supposed to have an 11:45 game, which I can guarantee if I had had 11:45 game, I would not be up necessarily doing this podcast this morning, or video for you watching. But they canceled it at the last minute. Idiots. Thank God I didn't leave my house. But I was really kind of dreading that because I was gone all day and tired and sort of cranky, which was going to be bad for my opponents anyway, right? Probably was going to get in some sort of altercation, which I have a tendency to do. I know, it's not very Ripley, right? Not super connecting and friendly and all that good stuff. But, sometimes you just got to find some outlet to take out your aggravations, right? Soccer, for me, is that. Not when I'm coaching, mind you. Coaching, trying to be calm, cool, collected. Well, at least I try and be professional. Let's put it that way. And try and set a good example for my boys. Sort of. The boys I coach. My other boys that live with me know I'm crazy. So, that's all lost on them. But at the end of the day, I try and do my best job. But when I go out and play, my boys have nicknamed me the Matador. And they call me the Matador, one, because I was a Matador. San Diego Matadors, woohoo! Class of 89, yes! Yeah, back in Homieville in Albuquerque for my peeps there. Anyway, I believe I'm a little guy. I'm really not, because I'm kind of a fat, overweight, middle-aged guy. But I view myself as a little guy. And I don't like getting pushed around, so I have a tendency to protect myself. They used to call me like the Velociraptor or whatever because my wings would pop out. And, no, pterodactyl, that's what I was. But now I'm more like I lead in with my arm and I go out and I shove people around, and I'm physical first before they're physical with me because I'm a little guy. I got to earn your respect, so you just want to stay away from me. And it doesn't matter. Men, women, co-ed team, men's team, doesn't matter. I'm going to go out and I'm going to play my game, and that's because that's how I play. So, haters going to hate, man. Haters going to hate. Anyway, I don't even know what got me on that. But anyway, I'm dressed, ready to go for this morning, and now I'm going to go play men's soccer. Oh, I was disappointed last night because I was kind of, tired, from a long day, but I've had a long week, and I had a lot of frustration built up, and I was ready to go take it out on the co-ed team that we were going to play, and then they canceled, which in the grand scheme of things was fine because I watched the news and clicked off the television, and I bet I was in my happy little slumber about 30 minutes later. So that night worked out. So now I got this pent-up energy on a Saturday morning. I'm going to go out and play. I'm very respectful when I play my men's pickup Saturday soccer because these are my buds. These are my friends. These are cool guys. New guys show up, thinks he's going to be like all that? Nah, okay, maybe the matador flares up a little bit. But if it's everybody that I normally know, then we all play this nice, quiet, respectful, kind of middle-aged game, right? Where, there's not a lot of contact. We don't even wear shin guards because we want to encourage people to come back, and we don't want any injuries out there. So we play nice, and at any rate, I got to go there in a little bit and hang out with those guys and kind of do what I do on Saturday when I have the time. So anyway, for today's podcast, I want to talk about a couple of things, catch you up on a couple of things. If you happen to be following me on Twitter, and if you're not, why not? At Rippleon, RIPPLEON. Come on, get with the program. Send out a Ripple thought of the day, sometimes a Ripple action of the day, some leadership tips. I know you could benefit from that. I know if you could benefit from it, somebody that you know can benefit from that, so that you should tell people about this little movement we got going on over here at Ripple headquarters. And follow me on Twitter. But anyway, I digress. A week or two ago, a buddy of mine texts me and he's like, dude, your Ripple brand is in peril. I'm like, what? He's like, dude, seriously? There is an issue. And I already had faced an issue at the end of last year. Some dipshit, and I am going to use that word, apologize if it offends anyone. But, this company started jumping in on the Bitcoin phrase and was using Ripple, the term Ripple, as kind of a term for this new cryptocurrency. And so people are like, hey dude, are you involved in it? Oh my God, what's going on? And you're like, have you sold out? Are you are you attached to the mafia? And is Ripple going to be in the economic space? I'm like, no. And, of course, everybody was up in arms, in the fourth quarter because this thing came out. And they're like, oh my God, you need to sue and you have a trademark. And it's like, no, you can't trademark a term, the Ripple. I found out you couldn't even trademark the term, the Ripple effect. There was there's just no way when it's in common language use that, the geniuses up at the Patent and Trademark Office will ever allow that. I have some versions of that, but unfortunately, Ripple or the Ripple effect is not trademarkable, which sucked. And so I had to get over that little bump, and I was kind of like, oh man, this Bitcoin thing, people are crazy, people are freaking out, and there's all these conspiracy theories about it. It's not something that I wanted my terminology really attached to, and so I thought, oh man, that could be a problem for my brand, and then kind of that settled down, and I was kind of cool with that. And so I was like, maybe have passed it. And then in early January, the dating app, Swipe Right or Left, Tinder, announces that, hey, we can't get enough people laid, so we want to help people network. And so they have decided to create an application called Ripple. As you can imagine, everybody started hitting me up. Oh my God, did you sell it to Tinder? Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God, the brand. And I will admit that I was a little freaked out. All right, I'm going to record this from here because All right, I'm resuming. Sorry about that momentarily pause. I was a little freaked out, but then my camera went off, and I'm like, oh, did the black helicopters come in from Tinder because I'm talking about those yahoos? And apparently not. No, the battery just died. So, had to change that real quick, and I'm back in action. Anyway, so yeah, I was a little bit freaked out, and then, of course, everybody just started hitting me up, and like, you know, the whole, you know, I don't know, trademark, copyright thing really came back up, and even my attorney was like, well, maybe this one is something that you want to look at, you know, maybe trying to pursue because, you know, there's a real significant brand here, and this could actually directly or indirectly affect my brand. And I'm like, all right, what are we talking about? What are we looking at here? And he's like, well, you know, probably easily $100,000 or more to go after them. I'm like, oh yeah, well, hey, so that would suck. And that is unfortunate, but I guess they will have to, you know, crash and burn on their own, and I'll just have to keep doing my thing because at the end of the day, I'm not going to pursue some jack-off company that wants to try and rip off the brand and try and pursue a bunch of stuff that guaranteed I'm sure they can afford to you know, mount any kind of defense. And I'll just have to deal with it. And I have. You know, I've had a couple of corporate people connect with me. In fact, had one corporate client this week that had said that for one of my corporate training classes that I do for them, we were going to have to potentially rename that, which was interesting. And that there was a little bit of concern even referencing Ripple related to the process of connecting and engagement. And so I don't know exactly how that's going to happen or how that's going to roll out or how it will affect me long term. But I mean, you, my loyal listeners, know that I have nothing to do with swiping right or swiping left. And those dipshits over at Tinder certainly don't understand and appreciate the fact that you have to put in real time and effort to engage. And no matter what quirky, gimmicky networking application that they want to put out there, real relationships don't start by just looking at somebody's picture and saying, that's somebody I want to connect with professionally. You connect with the person. You connect with who they are at their core. And, you know, hey, good for them if they can find a way to help people do that a little bit more selectively. But I think they have a PR problem on their own, and that their product and their brand is all built around the hookup. Getting yourself laid relative to business, to me, does not seem like a good crossover application. And so after a lot of soul searching and a lot of late nights, you know, stressing and thinking about it, it's like, I'm just going to continue to do me because that's all I can do. Tinder, I have a message for you. Podcast people, you know, you're probably not accustomed to me speaking so strongly and with so much commitment, but screw you, Twitter, or screw, no, sorry, Twitter, please, that was not about you. Screw you, Tinder, for coming in and wanting to sully a brand and a movement that has so much positivity around it by associating it with a crappy application like what you do. And, you know, it's sad, it's disappointing that you can't come up with something unique, something new on your own. Obviously, you helped people find a better way to get laid. I don't know why you have to go pollute the whole networking space, but you know what? Bring it. Because I think in the long run, the people that are committed to the brand that I've built, the focus of positivity, the focus on building relationships the right way, well, I guess that is going to have to come up, and we'll put up our dukes and fight you any day of the week on that, because you can't swipe right, you can't swipe left to build great relationships. You can't swipe right, you can't swipe left to build real engagement within your companies. You can't swipe right, you can't swipe left to really do good things in the world and create positive ripples out there. You know, it doesn't work that way. And if you want to come into the space, well, you know what? Pack a lunch and be prepared, because I'm prepared to fight you brand to brand, because I'm out here trying to do good things in this world and not just do gimmicky shit. So that is my response. That is my official thought process as of today. And yes, you might be sitting at home thinking, well, you know, but what if you had that $100,000 to go after them? Yeah, maybe, might be, I don't know, maybe a different, might be a different attitude, but I don't. And I'm not a rich man. I've got nothing. I can't go after such a big company. But you know what I do have is my name, my brand, my energy, my excitement, and I've got you. My people that watch me on YouTube, got you, my loyal listeners here on the podcast, and I believe 2018 you can help me put me on the map. Make me big, make me better, give me the type of exposure, create the opportunities for me to carry the banner of the right ripple forward, and I'm counting on you to help me do that. So anyway, thank you very much for that little bit of space and time for me to kind of vent. It's been building up. It has. I gotta be honest with you. Now I really feel like punching something. My blood pressure gets up there every single freaking time I think about it. But you know what? That isn't right either. And I know that the right people understand what the ripple is about. And those that don't will at some point get exposure to my book or to my blog or to my podcast or my videos or just me speaking from the stage or from a training audience at a corporation near you. And they will see what the power of this concept and this approach is about. And guess what? They will make up their own minds. No matter what Ripple is to Tinder, we know what Ripple is to our community, don't we? And we're going to continue to move forward and be committed to that movement no matter what. So, I know this is pretty awesome. I've done another podcast, as I said I would do in January. I am stoked that I got it out. I got my butt out of bed today, and I still have a little bit of time. So you know what? I actually have a couple of Rippler questions that came in over the last week that I thought, what a perfect way to finish. Let's create some positive ripples from this podcast and going forward. So this question was submitted by Sam. Sam asked, how do you handle people who reject you? Sam, great question. Rejection can be hard, can be difficult, and I will tell you that it is not something that, no matter what people say, don't take it personal. You always take it personal, right? At the end of the day, I know it's one of those things that, does have a tendency to bother people, and that is what it is. And rejection is life. And there are people that are not going to get you, not going to see you. Hell, there are people who listen to me at, in a podcast and say, I never want to listen to that guy again. Or see me at a conference like, your stuff is too basic. Your stuff is like common sense. I don't know why I said it like that, but, and that's fine. Hey, I appreciate the input, but you know what? There is a word for people who want to reject you, Sam. It's called next. If you go about worrying about what everybody else thinks about you, or, that you allow somebody to control and hold the power over you by using that rejection as that long stick to beat you with, don't do it, because when you cave to that, inevitably you're going to start to change. You are going to start to act a little bit differently, and we don't want you to do that, Sam. We want you to be exactly who you are at your core, provided you're a very cool and awesome person. I don't know you. So I am guessing that because you listen to the podcast and you want to do good in the world, that you are a positive, upbeat individual, or you're like me, shy and introverted, but you want to get better. Yeah? And I just say you do you. Anybody who out there is committed to feeling like they are compelled to tell you that you're doing something wrong, or they're not willing to take the time to get to know you, or they have opinions of you that, make you feel like you're being rejected, well, hey, that's theirs. Stick it in a box, put it away, and don't think about it, and go out there into the world and find people who will love and accept you, because they are out there, trust me. And if you need anybody to start with, contact me, because we will have a conversation, we will talk, we will get you on the path pointed in the right direction, I promise you. So thank you for that question, Sam. That was a good one. Albert sent me a question. I don't think I should do that. Holy crap, just went, my monitors went, shouldn't do that. Anyway, Albert asked me a question. Does it make sense to have a coach during a career change? Albert, seriously, you're asking me this question? Yes, of course. You need a coach. You need to find somebody to help you make that change, especially if you're making a legitimately career change, moving from one profession to another. That's a big, big step. But even if you're just trying to find the next career opportunity, absolutely critical for you to be able to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, somebody that will give you some insight into your resume, some people that you can do some mock interviews with, some people that will just give you some words of encouragement, because I hate to say it, career changes are tough and career changes are scary. And I see so many people, I get an opportunity to speak to a lot of different events where people are going through that. And it's isolating and it's very fearful. And you need somebody in your corner that is not family, someone that is not paid technically to tell you what you want to hear, but someone that will give you that discerning opinion and tell you to pull your shit together, pull your head out of your ass, and keep moving forward. And sometimes that tough love is only had by a coach. Sometimes you need that person that is going to give you that kick in the ass that you need, that motivation to start making the calls on a Monday or on a Wednesday afternoon after Monday and Tuesday has not gone well and you haven't gotten the interviews or the conversations with the recruiters didn't go as expected. You need somebody there that's going to pick you up, dust you off, and put you back out there committed to the right thing. And so a coach, I think, is a critical component. It's an absolute essential person to have in your corner, I think, when you're going through something as scary as a career change. So Albert, I will extend the same offer that I did to Sam, that if you would like to talk more about it, and not because I do coaching, but because I've seen the benefit of coaching, I'm happy to give you my perspective. I will tell you, because you're a listener here on the podcast and you asked me that question, there would be no engagement of services from me because I don't think that would be right. I'm not going to troll you for business, but what I am willing to do is give you some free coaching advice and guidance to help you find the coach. And I know a tremendous number of people that are in this space that could benefit you greatly. So reach out to me. For Sam and Albert, my email is steve@ripplecentral, RIPPLECENTRAL.com. Swipe left or right to make the good connection. No, I'm just kidding. Have nothing to do with their app. They suck. Yes, anyway, sorry. I keep going back to Tinder. I hate those guys. Oh, God, I hate those guys. Anyway, so last question, and then I'm going to get out of here because I think I've bored you enough. I really do. But this one comes from Lori. Why do people seem so disengaged these days? Lori, you can't see me right now, but if you're watching the YouTube, this could be why. I'm holding up my phone. Honestly, we have... I think there's a variety of reasons, to be honest with you, Lori. One, I think people use their phones as their safety blankets because they don't want to appear like they have nothing to do or that they are so desperate for engagement that they want to, kind of look like that desperate person. So they feel like they're looking important or otherwise focused on something that's really super important on their phone, like their email or their Facebook updates. But that is one thing that I notice a lot, that people tend to gravitate towards that. I also think that we are, as a society, doing a really crappy job of preparing our people, whether it's at work or as kids are coming into the workforce, to help them know how to have conversations with other people. And so it's not a tendency that people gravitate to have or want to engage in conversation or talk to a stranger or learn anything about their coworkers beyond job responsibility. And that is a huge, huge disservice. And I think that we as Ripplers have a mission to get out there and to help people understand that there is no value being found when your head is, stuck in your phone, when you're not looking up and looking out for the opportunities that present themselves to you, and you're not taking that chance, stepping outside your box to engage people, whether it's someone that you work with day to day or someone that you meet on the subway or at your Starbucks. But saying hello, the power of saying hello, having a conversation out here in the world is such an amazing and empowering thing. And we need to make it something that people recognize and understand and appreciate and will take the time to do. That is the key. Because I think disengagement only continues to happen if we allow it to happen. And it's our responsibility as Ripplers to just squash that crap. Yeah, let's squash that crap. And let's find a way to help people get better engaged in conversation, to make it not so scary on this end of the pool, and make ourselves open to the right connections. And I think if we feel like people are disengaged and we kind of go out there in the world, Lori, with that attitude and that mindset, well, guess what? We probably are doing the same. And we're probably matching that level of expectation and behavior. And the reality is we shouldn't do that. We need to be the change that we want to see in the world. I'm going to borrow that from Gandhi, but it's a true and accurate statement, and it is something that I think we can all have power over doing. And I see it all the time. Corporate clients that I work with, environments that I've been involved in, where people didn't, they just came in, they, heads down, kept their headphones on. There was no mechanism for them to have that interaction or that outlet. And you have to change that from an organization's perspective. You have to make that part of your culture, at least part of the culture. I think if you're out there in the world, you have to be an active, willing participant. And I always tell people that the right connections that you are supposed to make show up exactly in your path at the time that they're supposed to. But are you looking up and looking out in order to greet them? And in most cases, if your head is stuffed in your phone, you are not. You're missing those opportunities. You're robbing yourself and other people of the chance of a real, true opportunity to connect. So if you don't want to see disengagement out there in the world, Lori, help me do your part by going out and engaging as many people as you possibly can and watch the movement take hold. So that's my take. That's my story. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I apologize, I went a little long on the Tinder thing, but I'm just a little bent, as you could probably see or imagine. If you're listening, you can imagine it. If you're seeing it on YouTube, Tinder, I'm coming for you, baby. No, just kidding. Not really. And, if I've said anything that upsets the Tinder people, I apologize. I'm sure it's a great app. If I was, single and looking to get laid and didn't want to have any long-term commitments, I'm sure their application is great. No, I don't really. I think it probably is bad. Anyway, I won't say any more about it. I will just say there is no swiping or shortcuts to building great connections and building great relationships. And you, as my friends, know this to be the truth. And so help me carry that message forward. And if you know somebody that might benefit from this podcast, my crazy antics, I would love it if you would actually turn them onto the podcast. I believe you can find it on Spotify now. I know you definitely find it on iTunes because I upload directly to iTunes. And you know what would help me greatly is if you would leave me a review, good, bad, or indifferent. iTunes loves that. Helps me get positioned, helps people who might benefit from the message here within this podcast a little bit by those reviews. They might put the podcast as a suggestion or recommendation to people who are looking for other similar topics or conversation. And I would greatly appreciate any review that you would leave for me. So please do that for me at the end of the podcast. And, if there's any way that I can help any one of you, just like with Sam, Albert, Lori, any one of you that have questions about rippling, the possibility of career changes, things that you're going through that you think that the ripple concept could benefit you in some way, shape, or form, well, let's have a conversation and let me help guide you down a path that could potentially make that a reality, because that is my power, that's my mission, that's what gets me up out of bed every day. And gets me excited and motivated. So I love doing it. So any way I can help you, steve@ripplecentral.com. Of course, if you are not following me on Twitter, please do so. It's @Rippleon, RIPPLEON. On the Twitter sphere, you can find me on Instagram under that same moniker. My website, if you want to book me for an upcoming conference or corporate training, I'm doing those for 2018. I'm booking fast and furious. Time for you to do yours. Check me out on ripplecentral.com. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. Oh man, I got 20 minutes to get my butt to soccer. I'm out. Peace. Ripple on. So, podcast is over. Yeah. Check out this setup I got going on though. Computer, monitors. Look at the sunrise. Look at that mic setup. And then my mixer board. Pretty darn awesome for this I saw myself. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully, if you watched all of this, some of it made sense. And if it didn't, I apologize. I plan to get back in 2018 doing some more Ripple life. But, my life's pretty routine. So seeing the same crap day in and day out is not really all that exciting, I don't think. I do think, however, this hair situation could be worth videos. Because if I continue to grow it, wouldn't it be weird to see what I look like? Right now I feel like a chia pet. So not loving that, but What are you going to do? I mean, really, what are you going to do? I don't know. Hey, did you see back there? I got my new basketball hoop up in my office. I was going to play it every day, but I don't. It's too noisy. And the guy on the other side of that wall, different tenant, I don't think he likes hearing the boom, 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 because I miss a lot. Till next time, my friends. Ripple on.